Recently, we were library tourists in one of the most interesting, coolest libraries we have ever been in.
It was an island library getaway full of such fascinating history and interesting items, and of course, we're taking you with us today.
We were recently introduced to the idea of being library tourists, and we love it. And that means you're just going to different libraries, seeking them out to enjoy their unique features and all the different things each one offers.
And we started off our adventures in library tourism with a bang because we got to visit the super cool and super historic Edgar Allan Poe Library on Sullivan's Island, South Carolina.
So, tiny island, tiny library, gigantic character. We were just blown away by all the neat things that this library has to offer. It turns out that Edgar Allan Poe was stationed as a soldier in the army on Sullivan's Island back in 1827. He was there under an assumed name, Edgar A. Perry, because he was earning money to pay off gambling debts that had gotten him kicked out of college.
And he was stationed on the island for just about a year, and it inspired two of his short stories, The Balloon Hoax and The Oblong Box.
His most famous story about the island, though, is The Gold Bug, and that was written years later, and it's the tale of a man who is bitten by a golden scarab and then everything that happens along with that.
And so it was such a treat to be able to visit this place. And as you'll see in a minute, the library and its setting are just a perfect tribute to him.
We were so blown away by all the cool resources they had about Edgar Allan Poe, how friendly the librarians were, and all the creative things going on inside.
So sit back, settle in, and let's take a journey through the Edgar Allan Poe Library.
So we were really excited to go and visit this library. As you'll see, it was beautiful weather on the day that we were there. And as we're driving into the library, you notice right away it's very unique. Yes, that is grass growing on the roof. The library is housed in Battery Gadsden, which is part of a former 4-gun battery from the Spanish-American War. And it really does have an otherworldly, spooky kind of feel with all of its unusual features. Inside the library, there was all types of Poe memorabilia on display. It was so interesting to look at. We especially liked these shelves. It had books about the history of the area, books about Edgar Allan Poe, different things like bobbleheads, all kinds of fun stuff. I guess they've been collecting for quite a long time here on the island, and we just enjoyed seeing it all so much. As we were browsing all the interesting displays about Edgar Allan Poe, we also noticed that there were other interesting things going on in this library, not just related to their famous author, but also different events at the library and in the community. It was just really interesting to read all the things that they offer their patrons. We loved this Books Before Graduation challenge. We were sad to miss books at the beach, but we really loved this Jane Austen tea party idea. That was so much fun. There was also local artwork on display in the library. This is sweetgrass artwork local to the area, so cool to see it. All through the library, there were also quick and easy craft stations set up. You could paint rocks, you could make a peg doll. Here are some of the rocks. We just thought that was really, really neat. Our library doesn't have anything like that, so we were a little jealous. The library is divided up into small little rooms inside because remember it was a former bunker, but they all had their own charm and character, different photos on display. We love the raven in the window here. And also the arched doorway, so cool. And then the staff was so friendly. You could tell that they had put a lot of love and thought into everything that this library offered. We did, of course, look at all the books, and here's one we thought had a funny title because luck and Titanic don't seem to go together. This one we thought looked really interesting, and they even had a sale cart. Hooray! I was able to pick up a copy of this book by one of my favorite authors, and it was in mint condition. Here's a look at the outside of the library. We were not able to go up the stairs, but we loved that the roof had grass growing on it. It was just a very, very interesting place with all kinds of nice, creepy features, perfect for Edgar Allan Poe. And you could sit outside and relax and read, which is what Kate is doing here. They had a lot of free literature about Edgar Allan Poe and the library, and it was all satisfyingly spooky. Walking outside the library, there were other bunkers behind it. Of course, they were not open to the public, but it was just really neat to be able to see them. They also had grass on the roof, and there were lots of signs out, lots of information about the history of the area, and we did enjoy reading those. The library even has its own garden where they grow vegetables. There's even a shaded picnic area with the trees that have Spanish moss hanging down. So it's just so appropriate for Edgar Allan Poe, and we enjoyed seeing it all so much. Now we'll give you a bit of a 360 view, starting at the library, going through all the grounds and around. That's the main drive where we came in. And then back to the front door of the library. From the library, you can also walk to Fort Moultrie, which is also quite historic, worth visiting, and we did enjoy that also. Another really neat feature of this library is their guest book, and if you sign their guest book, then you get a free poster that was designed by one of their librarians. So I'll show you the one that we got. That's a pretty neat gift just for walking in the door and signing the book.
And so again, we were just so impressed on how friendly and creative the library staff is. And it just reminded us about the immense potential libraries have to bring communities together.
We love our library here. It's beautiful, it's very calm and soothing, but now we realize that, you know what, it's pretty vanilla. The library here could really up its game.
And so overall, this was just a fun fall bookish trip, and we are hooked on the idea of being library tourists.
So let us know if you've ever been a library tourist, what your favorite library is. We'd love to hear about it.
So we hope this video was fun for you to watch. Thank you for coming along, and we'll see you next time. Bye.